Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. Let everybody jump back in before I say anything and make any announcements. The thumbnail's probably not going to be up, but oh well. Sorry about the technical difficulties. New link is in the chat. There we go.
Okay, are we still echoing?
No.
Yay! We fixed it.
Yeah. I had to shut it down and restart it, but it won't have the thumbnail, but oh well.
Hmm.
Yep, Bonnie, take two.
Yes'm.
Appreciate y'all.
What's that?
I was saying I appreciate y'all for coming back.
Oh, hell yeah.
So something I just saw online, Angry Cop did POV that or POB is what he calls it, pat on the back of the first active duty female sniper graduated from Army sniper training.
Oh, nice.
I thought that was rather interesting.
Hmm. Sounds very intriguing.
Hmm?
Sounds very intriguing.
Yep. I went out and shot pool with the family today. My dad and my two brothers.
Oh yeah, how'd that go?
It went all right. I wasn't the best at shooting pool, but I was able to get around some. So had fun.
Right on, right on.
Right.
You got to get
But
out
yeah,
of the house and do something.
yeah, that's the way I feel about it. And like I said, I go live when I'm bored. So here I am.
Yep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How you doing it?
Uh, hanging in there. It's the middle of the work week. You know,
Mm-hmm.
looking forward to having Christmas Day off this year.
Right. That's
That's
cool.
something to look forward to. Yep.
By the
Can't
way,
complain.
the reason I had the technical difficulties was I jumped out. I gave you managing mod, and I think
Oh,
I gave Bonnie a mod also because I've seen her around, not managing but mod. And then
uh,
instead of coming back in the normal way, I used the link from YouTube to jump back in, and it gave to me, so it was echoing.
so you're trying to be your own guest.
Pretty much.
That would be
Which,
an interesting interview. Jay interviewed himself.
yeah, one of these days I might actually do that. Go live and have me in two times and just mute the mic so that I'm talking to myself.
You know what? That'd be a very interesting concept. I don't think there's another YouTuber out there that's doing such a thing.
Nope.
Might go viral.
Maybe not. Never know. I'll have to try it out one day.
Uh huh.
I think it's funny also, StreamYards gave me a notification that I'm nearing my free trial time and that
Uh-huh.
uh, I've got like um, 9 or 10 hours left on the free trial, but it resets on the 25th.
Wow. Oh, you didn't pay it. You didn't do the what is it? The $20 a month.
Yeah, no, I don't pay for it.
Oh,
I don't have the disposable income to pay for it right now.
oh man, I hear you. It sucks.
That's why last night it was nice that there was only like the five of us on the panel. Because then I
Yeah.
didn't have to worry about kicking people.
Yep. Well, not yet anyway.
Exactly. Maybe one day I'll get big enough to do that or have to pay for it, but and I'm a quarter of the way with my watch hours for monetization,
Mm.
but I don't see that happening anytime soon.
Well, no, that attitude. Yeah,
Well, no,
think
I'm being
positive, my
realistic.
guy.
I'm being realistic about it. I know that it's going to take a little while.
No, that's called being negative, sir. You need to be more positive.
No, it's not negative. It's being realistic. I'm not saying that it's not going to
No.
happen. I'm saying it's going to take me a little while because I got to pay my dues.
Well, I believe in you, Jay. I say you
I
gonna make it.
appreciate it. I appreciate it.
You know what I'm saying? But you got to have some faith in yourself too.
Oh, I have faith that I'll get there. It's just going to take a little while.
Sure.
I'm not saying that I'm not going to get there. I'm just saying that it's going to take me a little while.
All right.
We're growing, but it's a
Yep.
slow growth. So
Yep.
we're on the up and up.
It's a marathon, not a race.
Exactly. And I'm locked in. We are on technically episode 12 if you count last night because of last night being the after party, but at the same time I labeled it episode 11.
Nice.
So
Yeah, I didn't see anyone else's live. I know Dan went live for a quick minute because he was doing his usual, but I guess Menace had it covered, so he cut it short.
yeah. I
So
saw
we're gonna hang
Triple
out
T
with Menace's
was
live for a little
live, but he
bit.
ended his.
Yeah, I would do hang out at Menace's live for a little bit on his other channel that I guess he has now, and then I missed Tim's live. Saw that
Yeah.
JP was live. I popped in there for a quick second, say hi to everybody. Didn't get a response, so I dipped.
Yeah. I saw he was live, but it's one of those things I wasn't feeling listening to music. I'd rather
Yeah,
have conversation.
yeah.
Nothing against him. I also went in and on last night's podcast, I put ads to everybody that was on the panel and said for everyone to please support.
Yeah, no, nothing against him or anyone there. It's just like, okay, if we're not going to conversate, then I guess I don't need to stay there.
Right. I feel you. And that's why I do this is, for conversation and to give people an alternative to whatever is going on YouTube so that they can come over here and chat and talk and get stuff off their chest or just talk
Yeah,
about, pop culture or what have you.
yeah,
Because I haven't been watching wrestling, but I've been watching like the clips on YouTube from some of the wrestling, and it's getting rather interesting.
yeah. It's getting pretty decent. I'm not able to watch it as much as I can, so yeah, I have to look at highlights and stuff. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it actually also feels almost like the old days with WCW and WWE because you got AEW and WWE. So
yeah. But I just wish AEW would put on would focus more on putting on a solid product like they were
true,
before. They've
true.
fallen off a little bit.
I feel you. I'm just I kind of got excited whenever I started seeing some of the older wrestlers involved in AEW with the like starting stables and stuff like that
Yeah.
and being managers and stuff because I think that's what they need to do is focus more on in the wrestling biz the older wrestlers being like managers of up and comers and like passing the torch so to speak.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. I think
Because
that's
like
what AEW needs to focus on. They need to focus on, telling better stories and
mhm,
working the stories to where they're building new stars. They're using the older stars to
right,
build new stars because
right,
that's really the only way that they're going to be able to compete with WWE at all.
right. And then like with WWE, they've gotten the basically the new blood up and coming, with the fractions that they've got with the bloodline and the Judgment
Yeah.
Day and all that. But it would be nice to
Well,
see, huh?
well that's where WWE has always been. best at is their ability to create new stars,
Right.
transitioning,
But
from one era to another by
mhm,
having the older stars putting over the newer stars.
right. But what I was getting at is what I like to see with WWE more is them using the Hall of Famers as like managers. Because could you imagine, Undertaker coming back doing the old Undertaker bit of having the acolytes and everything?
Yeah, but I don't think Undertaker would be a good example given like the type of character that he had. It would take away from, his mystique and everything. Um, I know he does help out like behind the scenes in training some of the new incoming wrestlers, getting
Right.
them ready for like NXT and whatnot. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of older guys too that help out behind the scenes training the newer wrestlers that come in from they get picked up from indie promoters or other indie feds
Mm-hmm.
and whatnot. So I'd rather they do that because they already had their
Right.
time in the spotlight. They don't need any more time in the
Right.
spotlight.
Right, and that's actually what they should do with NXT is start, bringing in the stable concept and having the Hall of Famers create stables in NXT for those stables to transfer into like SmackDown and Raw.
Right, but
And
then but then
and
you're gonna
sorry
have
you didn't get
to
a notification, Miss Lux. Didn't mean
you're
to
gonna have
cut you off
the
there, Jason.
yeah you're gonna have internet wrestling fan communities bitching and complaining like, oh, they're doing exactly what AEW is doing by using these old
Hmm.
wrestlers to create new stables and all this and that to help build new stars.
Yeah, but if you get the storylines, people can overlook that. If you get good
They
storylines,
won't, though, Jay. Trust me, wrestling fans are very, very fickle. They're very, very finicky when it comes to things
I
like
feel
that.
you on that. I feel you on that.
I'd rather WWE focus on them doing their own thing, not worrying about what the competition is doing, which they've always been very good at.
Hmm.
And AEW, and this is where AEW kind of needs to follow in their lead by doing the same thing. Focus on putting on the best product that you possibly can without worrying about what the competition is doing.
I feel you. Hey
Do
there,
your own
Loki. You
thing.
feel free to join if you want.
Yeah, anyone want to come up? Then don't be shy. The panel is fine.
Right. We are currently talking wrestling, but we'll talk about anything and everything under the sun.
Oh yeah. And shout out to 15 Ben for that awesome song I just reacted to. Man, that song was dope.
Yep.
That one last time.
Right. Thank you, Loki, for your support. Appreciate you. Yeah, 15 Ben is an awesome artist. If y'all
Yeah.
haven't checked out Jason's reaction or 15th Ben music, please go check it out.
Yes, please do. I can really use the views. Need that algorithm to
When
put on my channel again.
when the live is over with, I'll probably put their channels in the description for people to check out.
Mm. Catch you later, Loki.
But that's
Appreciate you stopping by.
but that's what I'm here for is to help motivate and support artists and reactions and people that are just good people that I rock with.
Yeah.
Plus, like I said, it's the Boredom Podcast where I go live because I'm bored.
Yeah.
But we get back into the talking topics.
Yes, sir.
What else can we get on? Oh yeah. If you could have a superpower and be a superhero, what would it be?
I can have any superpower as a superhero. Just one power, or can I have two powers?
Um. Well, just name them off and we'll see.
Well, if I'll make it easier. If I can
Hmm.
have one power, it will be the power of flight.
Okay.
It'll make getting to work a whole lot easier.
Because what I'm doing is a variant of what I saw the Unsubscribed podcast do is the people that come on panel, they get to pick a superpower, but I get to pick a down downside to their superpower for them to use it. So you get to have flight like Superman, but to use it you have to speak in what was it? Fuck, I'm trying to remember how to phrase it now. It's stereotypical Mexican.
Oh hell no! It's too early for this, Jay. Too early for that, man. I'm saying.
Well, no, it's like on the Unsubscribed podcast, they do something similar where, you get to pick your superpower, but then they get on the panel to pick your downside. So they have somebody that can fly, but for him to use his flight power, he has to say racial slurs.
Oh, that's messed up.
And then they got somebody with super speed, and the person with super speed, his downside is he shits uncontrollably the whole time that he's using it.
Oh, ouch! That's tough.
And then he has a cooldown where, like, he'll get to the fight, but then he can't do anything for like 5 or 10 minutes, so he's just there.
Damn.
But yeah, shout out to the Unsubscribed podcast for that idea. That's hilarious, and they're funny. They're all that run it are ex-military.
Oh, okay.
They have a lot of episodes, and it's hilarious to sit back and watch. They dropped one episode today, as a matter of fact. And they've been having guests on too that are just people that they find interesting, and they fly out to their location in Texas for interviews and stuff. And they've had people like your narrator from The Boys, Windigoon, Ballistic High Speed, all sorts of people on. They've had Donut Operator, Habitual Line Crosser, Fredo on TV, all different content creators and stuff, whether they're military or not.
Nice. Speaking of content creators, I got to give a shout out to Strange Fantabulous, who I worked on some fan fiction with. Our Crow fan fiction that she just posted on her channel just hit 6 likes.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's got.
By the way,
I think it's got over 50 views by now. That's how I checked.
Yeah. By the way, you got to send me a link to that site.
Oh, I posted the Crow fan fiction on my community tab. So if you go to my community tab, the link for it's right there. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. I'll have to hit that up. I keep forgetting about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to them.
And we are talking about doing an alternative version of that story, because this one it follows the events of the first 2 Crow movies, like the original one with Brandon Lee, and the second one, Crow City of Angels, and then I came up with an alternative version of the story that only follows the events of the first one with Brandon Lee.
Cool. Yeah, there's been like I think 3 or 4 technically Crow movies, but 2 of them tanked, and one was a pilot for the TV show.
Well, no, there's 5 movies now because they just did a reboot that stars Bill Skarsgård as Eric Draven, and then then they had the TV series that I think aired on Sci-Fi for only 1 season.
Probably. I remember watching it. I just don't remember if it was just one season or two. I
I
know it was
think it
short
was
lived.
one. Yeah, I think pretty sure it was only one season, and I watched a few episodes, and I appreciate what they were trying to do, but the execution just wasn't there.
No, I found it interesting and I liked it. It to me it felt like
Yeah.
it was more in the style of the first movie with Brandon Lee. So that's why
Well,
I
yeah.
enjoyed
I
it more
mean,
than City of Angels.
yeah. I mean, it was a continuation of the original, which I appreciate them trying to attempt that, but I
Hmm.
just don't feel like it really worked with how they went about it. I feel like they could have done a better job with it.
I understand your point of view on it.
Like I said, I appreciate the effort. I appreciate the
Hmm.
intent. I just don't think it
Right.
really works in the context that they wrote it in.
Yeah. I feel you. And that's the other thing that I love with this and this platform that I'm using is, we can agree to disagree and still, be respectful of each other's opinions.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I actually enjoyed that one more than the actual official movie. That to me just seemed like it was poorly done with really good special effects.
What, the movie?
Hmm.
The original movie with Brandon Lee in
No, no,
it?
not the no, not the Brandon Lee original. I'm talking about the other one where it was the. I want to say it was City of Angels with I think it was a female crow.
No, there was never a female crow.
Okay, they were talking about doing a female crow then, but
Yeah.
it was that other just movie. It wasn't the lead into the TV series or anything, and it wasn't Brandon Lee's. It was like they tried to make another Crow movie that just
Yeah.
bombed.
City of Angels it was a father and son story, which, with today's day and age, given with the
Yeah.
how fathers are being treated these days, gives me a
Hmm.
more newfound appreciation for that movie because
Right.
because I mean, how many movies out there are dedicated to a father and you know and how much that they love their children, like how far are they willing to go to show how
Right.
much that they love their children. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. I
because
feel
of
you on
that,
that one.
with that reason alone, I mean, I have a more newfound appreciation for that sequel, and that's really
Yeah.
the only sequel I really like. The third and the third one, I have to rewatch that one because I've only seen the third one once, and I know they did
Right.
it they went back to the whole boyfriend girlfriend relationship formula that the first one did,
Hmm.
and so I appreciate that. Fourth one did it too, but and it starred Edward Furlong too, who was one of my favorite actors. But
Hmm.
I just and nothing. It's not on him or anything, but that fourth one just it just sucks. It's just not good.
Now, question: have you ever read the graphic novel compilation of the original Crow comic?
No, I need to see if I can get it from my Kindle.
Because I used to have that at one time. It got stolen from me, but that graphic novel to me seemed like it would be a better movie storyline because it had stuff that they were going to use in the original with Brandon Lee that they cut out. Like there
Yeah,
was a uh, the spirit cowboy that was telling the crow his powers and how to use them and stuff. That I
yeah,
think it would be better to do for a modern movie on the crow.
yeah. No, yeah, I feel that. And from what I've heard with this new reboot that stars Bill Skarsgård,
Hmm.
it's going to be closer to what that original movie should have been, to the novel than the original.
That's cool. Now,
Yeah,
question that made me think of something else. Did you hear about the Lobo movie?
I heard that they were going to do one, but then last I heard, it got canceled.
Well, I've been hearing more about it actually being a thing, and that Momoa is going to play Lobo.
Yeah, I know they wanted him to do it, but like I said, last I heard, they were they're canceling it.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think
I
they
hope that's not true. I hope that's not true. I hope they do go through with it and make that movie because I would love to
Mhm.
see Momoa as Lobo because he does
Yeah,
have the personality for it. I feel.
yeah. Because from what I was seeing online was that the new DCEU that they're coming up with is actually going to do the Lobo movie with Momoa.
Mm. I heard that
That
the second
he's
Aquaman
giving up
movie
on.
finally came out.
Yeah. Well, they're pushing that right now for Aquaman 2, but I think he's actually giving up the Aquaman role to take the Lobo role.
Yeah, he's not playing Aquaman no more. No matter what they do next with him.
Right. Right. But I'm excited if they do a Lobo movie because that's one of my
Yeah.
favorite DC characters.
Yeah. No. Yeah. He's a very interesting character.
Hmm. He's the Deadpool of DC in my
Mm.
eyes.
Yeah. He's got that over the top personality.
Right. I'm also waiting to see what happens with Deadpool 3 because I'm a fan of Deadpool.
Yeah, I definitely can't wait for that to drop. I really want to see
Right.
Deadpool 3.
Hmm.
I really want to see that new Pro movie too, that reboot with Bill Skarsgård, because I know they've been
Yeah, it's
talking
the
for
first I'm hearing
years.
about it.
Yeah, they've been talking for years that of doing a reboot, but then you have members of Brandon Lee's family talking about, oh no, that's Brandon's movie. You can't redo Brandon's movie, and it's like, well, I understand your viewpoint. I understand your guys' perspective. I get it, but the thing is, even if they do make a reboot, that version of the movie that stars Brandon Lee is not going anywhere. It's always going to be around.
Right.
People can
Right.
watch it whenever they want. They can always own it on physical media. It's not going anywhere. And that version of the movie will always be Brandon's. That's how I see it. You know what I mean? Whereas
Well, see,
this reboot is
instead of
going
a
to be,
reboot, I'd rather see them do just a whole new storyline and incorporate like flashes to that original Crow in it, as a shout out kind of thing.
no, I say don't touch that movie at all because, like I said, it's that version will always be Brandon Lee's. Leave it alone. Let him and his family have that. And if you're gonna do a reboot, and if what they're saying is true with this reboot being closer to the actual graphic novel than the original,
Hmm.
then
Hmm.
okay, keep it at that. Do your own thing and keep it at that. And I'm sure people will love this one either just as much, you know what I'm saying, or
Yeah,
they'll probably like it a little less than the original, only because they're more attached to the original.
I feel you. I just get tired of the reboot. I'd
I
rather just
do
be,
too, but
new stuff.
yeah, no, I feel you. I do too, but in this case, to me, it makes sense.
Yeah, Inga, I'm sorry that apparently everybody was that way. They didn't get a notification on the take two, but I'm glad you showed back up. I'm glad everybody showed back up that was in for the original. But sorry, I didn't mean to derail the conversation with that. I just saw her make that
No,
comment.
no,
So
no, you good. No, you good. No, I was just saying
what's up,
that
Jiminy?
when it comes to the reboots, in this case, to me, it makes sense, especially in the
Right.
direction that
Oh, I feel
is
you. I'm
being
just saying
rumored that
in.
they're going.
Yeah, I feel you. I was just saying in general, I get tired of reboots because it's like they
Yeah.
keep trying to tell the same story over and over again, and it's like you don't need to. It's like how many origin stories do you need for Batman? Do something else.
Well,
You know.
Batman is a different case in his own because yeah, people know because he's a more established character and he's been around so much longer than the Crow character
Right.
has.
Right.
So yeah, with him telling his origin story over and over and over and over again, to the point
It
where
gets
it's
old.
just become so redundant, then yeah,
Hmm.
that I can agree with you on.
Yeah, and it's the same thing with like Fantastic Four and
Yeah,
some of those other superhero IP movies that they just keep wanting to reboot, and I'm like, stop rebooting, just continue on with a new story. You can have
yeah.
new
See,
people
in that
playing.
regard, in that regard, because you're going into the more established characters that have been around a lot
Right,
longer, then
right,
yeah, I 100% agree with you on that.
right. And
Yeah,
plus, you know,
The Crow is a
well,
fairly newer character that's only had really, if you don't count the sequels, he's only had one movie. You know what I'm saying?
right.
And the graphic novel, I think that was the only story that was ever told. I mean, I would have to really look into it, see if there's more to that story.
Well,
But
originally, what it was a series of comics in a independent publisher,
right,
and it got picked
James
up and
O'Barr.
made into the movie for Brandon Lee. And after that, the creator James O'Barr went and compiled all of the episodes of the comic into one graphic novel.
Right,
But the graphic novel is pretty much the definitive Crow
right,
story.
right.
But yeah, because like I said, I was a fan, and I read all that stuff after watching the movie and did my
Yeah.
research about it and all that.
Yeah, well, so did I, and yeah, I will always love that original movie. I mean, I just watched it again, like
Right.
I
Same.
want to say a couple nights ago, along with the City of Angels, which is like I said, the only sequel I really care about. Um, and now I really want to see what they do with this reboot. If it is going to play out closer to the novel, which already makes it sound like it's going to be different than the original, then okay, I'm on board. I'm interested. Let's see what happens with this one. Let's see how well Bill Skarsgård
Right.
does as Eric Draven.
Right. Now, the only reboot that I actually really enjoyed was the Jay and Silent Bob reboot that Kevin Smith did, because it really wasn't a reboot. It was a continuation of the Jay and Silent Bob storyline, but he brought in new characters, and
I knew
it
you
was
were gonna say
actually
that
really
too.
enjoyable. Huh?
I knew you're gonna say that too. I kind of saw it
Yeah,
coming.
I'm just a big fan of his stuff. I
Yeah.
love everything that he's put out that I've seen. There's a few of the stuff that he's put out that I haven't seen. Like he has a horror series movie called
Uh,
Red State that I haven't seen. That's kind of a zombie apocalypse story. And then
yeah.
he's done horror with Tusk that I haven't seen, and Yoga Hosers, which is a horror comedy.
Mm, that's cool.
Yeah. Yoga Hosers. The premise is hilarious though. It's about uh, I think it's like neo-Nazi sausages that come to life, if
Oh
I want
god.
to say correctly. Oh,
So let me guess. They're a bunch of bratwurst.
yeah, kind of. Welcome, Geminator.
Oh, look at
Hello.
this. Jimmy is taking time away from his bull to be with us.
Oh no, I'm such a good guy.
How did I know you were gonna go there?
I mean, I kind of have to.
Yeah, if you didn't, we'd think there was something wrong.
Well, I'd be worried about you if you didn't.
At this point, yeah.
Jason, are you okay? I'm just fucking with you.
So have you heard what the topic has been so far?
Comic stuff,
Yeah.
superhero stuff. Yeah.
Well, comic movies and in general.
I've yet to see The Crow. Actually, I've heard a lot about the movie, and I've seen a lot of Brandon Lee movies. I've yet to watch.
Brother, you disappoint me every time.
Stinks.
we've got to do a movie night now in Alpha's Discord and watch The Crow with you.
Yeah.
Because I know if we give you the homework, you won't watch it.
No. He'll pull the Star Wars crap.
Exactly.
And I hope you take notes because I just made quiz you on the Crow movie.
Well, that's one movie, not an entire fucking franchise. So
True.
No, it's technically a franchise, my guy.
It is technically a franchise, but the movie that we're talking about is the be all end all.
Yes.
So it's actually, with the way you like action, Geminator, you'll probably really love it.
And it's dark.
Yeah.
I like dark movies.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet you do.
So I don't remember, Geminator. Did I get you to give a superpower and a side effect?
Wait, what?
Just do it anyway, Jay.
Okay. Geminator, you get to be a superhero. You get to pick your superpower, but I get to give you a side effect of the superpower. Go.
I would choose. You're gonna have to give me a sec. Man, there's so many like good ones to choose though. I don't know. My superpower would be flight.
Nope, already done.
Well, fuck you then. I'm just kidding. Damn it. Okay, flight's already been there. Let's say I have the like. Give me like. Oh. See, there's so many good ones. Like I'd like to be
Right.
invincible.
Just
but,
pick one.
Well, okay, you
But it
want
has
to be
something I
invincible?
want. Okay, fine, invincible.
You're invincible, but it's only for 30 seconds at a time. Jason has the flight, but he has to.
Hold on, Jay. I want to give him another side effect, if I may.
Okay.
In order to use your, what is it, 30 seconds at a time?
Yeah, 30 seconds at a time of invincibility.
Yeah, in order for you to activate it, you have to say, I love America.
I don't like this game anymore.
Well, here's Jason. Jason picked the flight, which you wanted, but for him to use his flight, he has to speak in a stereotypical Mexican accent.
Wait, what?
I said Jason picked the flight that you wanted, but his side effect is he has to use the flight. He has to speak in a stereotypical Mexican accent.
Okay, well, that's a good one. Do you accept it, Jason?
Yeah.
No, you told me I was wrong for it, but he still accepted it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you all kinds of wrong for it, but I'll accept it because it's funny.
And here we go. I'm gonna let y'all pick my side effect.
Okay.
I have the superpower of Professor X.
Okay.
So basically, you're just smart as shit.
No, he has telepathy and
Telekinesis.
telekinesis.
Oh, yeah. It's been so long since I've watched X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
But
Hi,
so
Elena.
your weakness would be you have to say that Canada is the best country on earth every time.
Okay.
See, my side effect for you would be to say that in order for you to activate, you have to say "I love Mexicans."
Does Latinos count?
Jiminator.
See, those aren't too bad. I wouldn't mind saying I love Mexicans or I love Canada.
Nope,
Even
I
though
didn't say that. I said Canada's the
what?
best country
Oh,
on earth.
Canada is the best country on earth. That might be a little harder for me to use.
He's like, I never use Jason side effect.
Oh shit! Hey, you guys
But
want to hear something?
sure, I don't mind.
So you noticed how? Do you remember yesterday when I said I had a friend? Yesterday I said that I have a friend who sounds like a layman.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna end up having to mute because I got a train coming, but I'm listening.
I'll wait.
No, you all talk and or play. I can hear. I just have to mute so that the train doesn't blow everybody's eardrum.
Yeah, that's kind of how this works here, because we're not trying to have dead air.
That's true. That's true. So let me not leave you with any extra boredom. Basically, the guy. So the studio that I go to it's owned by two people, and one of them is my friend John. He's also in the band, and basically I'm very tight on money right now because of my insurance situation. So I said, hey, like I'll give you guys beats. I'll even do features, like I'll give you drum kits, I'll give you my knowledge of 4 years of producing, right? So they said, yeah, like instead of just paying money, they allowed me just to help them out with anything they needed. So I sent the dude a beat, and he really liked it. He wrote something, recorded something, and then he showed me. Then he asked me if I wanted to do a feature on the second verse, and I said, yeah, sure. I've never really done anything like this before, so go for it. So basically what we did is we made a quick boom bap rap song, and I'm a feature on it, and it sounds really, really good. I just got the mixed file today, and I'm wondering if you guys want to hear it.
Sounds cool.
It's up to Jay. It's his stream.
You know how to do it. I don't mind.
I can't share screen. I'm on my phone.
Yeah, that's my issue too. And Jiminator knows how to share screen to do it, and I know how to accept it. And Inga's telling you to play it.
All right, you have to accept it now.
He said you have to accept it now. You bother asking. How rude.
Is he sharing it?
Yes.
Okay. Do you still have a train, Jay?
Yes.
Damn it. I wanna wait till it's gone so I can have your absolute attention, you know?
I feel you.
So I guess we'll wait. But yeah, it's like
That train has wonderful timing, by the way. I'm just saying.
yeah, that train. Yeah, no, kick it, Jay. Go and kick the train. It'll bug off.
Jay's already missing one toe. He doesn't need to be missing more. I'll kick a train.
That's a good point.
Man, Jiminator.
I know, man. Like, I'm
What
trying
is
to do
with
better.
God is such no meat or eggs or anything?
I mean, like I said, I'm trying.
All right. Train's gone. Well, not gone, but it's gone by. You might be able to hear a little bit of it in the background, but it's not bad.
Did you scare the train, Jay?
No, it's going past.
Okay, let me know if you can hear this.
You know, a lot of people.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
You know, a lot of people have told me that I don't have what it takes. Well, this is my response. Yeah. Say what you will, but you can't do what I do. You can try to pin me down, but I'll have power to move. You can lie your way through life, but I'll still follow the truth. What you do is your decision, let's just call it a truce. Cause I'm done with all the fighting, man, I'm done with all the drama. If you wanna do me wrong to you, I'll leave it up to karma. Yeah, I'll keep working while you're smoking up your marijuana. You can hide behind your lies and I'll pretend I never saw ya. Yeah, I'm not part of your game, I got a heart like a flame. I put your words in a shell, man, I cock and I pop like a vein. I know my spot's on a crane. I rose to new heights, saw my plot and I changed. I changed my perception, now I'm raising the bars. I changed my behavior, now I'm racing the stars. I found my direction, now I'm changing my heart. I found me the savior, he's erasing my scars. So I'm just doing me when I do what I do. Got a pathway that I see and the vision I pursue. Gotta climb up in the trees to reach a better point of view, or sail across the seas to find a path that's right for you.
I don't get it. Why they gotta focus on the hate doesn't do them any favors, and they just end up disgraced, digging their own grave deep inside their mental prison. R.I.P. They were laid to rest when hate entered their system.
I feel bad for them. They don't seem to have a dream. They're latching on to me. They try to grab what I've achieved. Got attachment to the scheme. They're captives to the team. Lost many opportunities. They had to take the lead.
I'm tired of people wasting their ambition, glorifying addiction. No conviction in their message, just a walking contradiction. All glued to prescriptions, you need to see a physician. If the shoe fits right, these are limited edition. On the mission, got the vision on behalf of what I've written. Got ambition, see it through. Just come and have a listen. Got these eyes on me. Been feeling the stress, but I've been way too busy working, man. I feel like a mess. Building all the foundations of what I want to be. I've been setting all the goals that I'm destined to achieve. Do you believe? Or are you just along for the ride? If so, then get out the car, cause you don't have to drive. I've been learning day to day the way to really survive. Now I gotta pay my way to stay above my demise. I've been caught up doing wrong, never claimed to be a saint, but the sword is way too long, gotta set the record straight.
Ring ding dong, ring ding 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 dong.
Ding, ding, dong.
I like that. Your voice sounds a lot like Layman.
I don't know. It's actually kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm. But I like that. Had a great message too.
Mm-hmm.
How long before y'all drop that?
Should be coming out in the beginning of the year.
Cool.
Like next year.
Cool. Is it gonna drop on your page or his or?
It's gonna drop on his. I'm the feature.
Okay, so whenever it drops, you're gonna have to leave. Shoot us all links.
Yeah, I'll try. Yeah, I'll definitely try. He's a good dude.
Yeah. What do you think, Jason?
That was all right. I mean, I'm listening through my phone, so I can't really give a true, honest opinion.
Understood.
Yeah, maybe I'll
But
just shoot it over to you. Give you a few bucks to do a reaction if you want.
That's cool.
Yeah, cool there, buddy. Go for it. $5 minimum for a reaction.
Mm-hmm.
$5 American.
Yes, $5 American, not $5 Canadian.
Yeah. I'm flying to Mexico on the 25th, and it's
Nice.
gonna be my first time flying. I don't know if I might have said this already, but y'all have any
Yeah, you said it
advice?
last night. Just enjoy it. It's not that big of a deal.
I don't know. I'm just nervous. That's all.
Take some edibles.
That's right. That's right. We had this chat. That's right.
Yep.
Take edibles. That way you can pass out on the flight over.
Yeah, I've flown a couple of times, and it's not that big of a deal. The first time you'll be excited. It's kind of like sex, and then after that, it's just another flight.
Only you, Jay, will compare flying to sex.
Hey,
That's such a Jay thing to say.
am I wrong?
Well, I don't know. I haven't flown yet, but I did have sex.
Change.
But like I said, it's not a big deal. I mean, the first time you're gonna be nervous and everything, and after that, it just comes natural.
Yeah.
And that's what I meant, Inga.
I'm flying the train.
I think you're making Inga uncomfortable, Jay.
Hey, that's what I'm here for, is to make everybody uncomfortable.
And that's the show, ladies and gentlemen. So good night.
Fun. Time to draw the curtains.
As Domio would say, it's time to hit the old dusty trail.
Good old dusty road. Okay, well here's a question I think both of you can answer. Out of the five Rambo movies, which one would you say is the best?
The first.
I've never seen any of them.
Really?
Oh,
No.
Jason, you got to watch the first one at least.
Yeah, when I get around to it.
First Blood is really good.
Yeah. To me, that's the best, because that was the story in a nutshell, and everything else after that just kept trying to gain the catch fire, the fire in a bottle, so to speak.
What about the new Expendables movie? Y'all seen it?
I haven't watched it yet.
No, then
I haven't seen the new one. I've seen the first one, but not the new one.
Yeah, I just picked up the new one because I have the first three. I just haven't watched it yet. I still haven't watched John Wick 4 yet, too, and I have that one, too.
I haven't watched that one yet either. I don't have it, but I want to see it. I've seen clips from it, so.
Yeah.
It's really good.
And there's fan speculation, I should say, that they say that the John Wick series happens within the Matrix universe, that they're all connected somehow.
Yeah, I heard about that, and I call bullshit on that. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I just
same.
think it can fit in with the Matrix.
I mean, if you think about it, it could, because with John Wick, everything happens even though the people around them don't realize it's happening.
Yeah.
And it's the same way that the fight scenes and everything happen in the Matrix too, or inside the Matrix, I should say.
Yeah, but timeline-wise, how would that work?
It would be in that time frame between Matrix movies where you don't know what's going on with Neo.
But that doesn't make sense because, see, Neo was sucked out of what is known as the Matrix into the real world. So where does John Wick fit in between the real world and the Matrix?
Well, there was that time frame between 1 and 2 where he was exploring the Matrix. At the end of 1, he felt like he was the chosen, and he was going around inside the Matrix.
I don't know, Jay,
before it came to 2.
Too much.
Yeah,
well, no, that's what the theory goes.
Jay.
I'm just telling what the theory explains.
No, I know, I get it, and don't get me wrong. I love movie theories or fan theories and whatnot. I highly encourage them, but that's just one of them that I just can't agree with because again, it doesn't math.
I mean, you don't know how long the time frame is between the movies, and he could have lived a whole life where he goes ahead and decides to retire and everything else.
But that's not what I'm asking, though. What I'm asking is, between the Matrix and the real world, where does John Wick fit? Is he a chosen one that is one of those, I forget what they call them, but the people, you know what I mean, that, get plugged in order to go into the real, or the Matrix, or whatever, or is he, just stuck in that Matrix? You know what I mean? Like, where does he fit in between the two worlds is what I'm trying to get at. How does that work?
I feel you, and that's what I was trying to say is, at the end of the Matrix 1, he flies off to go explore the Matrix.
Okay.
And living in the Matrix, as the chosen one. So he could have taken up the persona during that time frame between 1 and 2 of being an assassin and everything else, and then trying to take that time to retire
Okay,
when he gets
so
drawn back in, and that's where he
But
gets
then what
pulled
about
back
the
out and then goes back in.
Agent Smith though? Because like, why would Agent Smith just sit around and wait forever and a day for Neil to finally make up his mind and decide, okay, I'm gonna be a hero and go against this guy to keep him from corrupting the Matrix?
yeah, not only that, but like Jay, by that logic, literally any Keanu Reeves ever could, like, you could just say that, oh, it's part of the Matrix too. Like it could be a theory just like that too, you know?
Yeah, you can add in movies like fucking Point Break, Speed, you know what I mean, and say like they all exist in
Mhm.
the Matrix too at some point.
Right, and that could be too.
And like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just I don't know if there's holes in your theory. I'm gonna
So
call those out, and if
Right.
there's too many holes, then I'm sorry, I just can't get on board with it. You can have it, but I just can't get on board with it.
it's really
I feel you,
far-fetched.
and I'm not completely sold on it either. But that's why I was bringing it up with y'all to get y'all's
Yeah,
perspective of it.
yeah. I don't know. It's like I said, that math ain't mathing with me, so I just can't get on board with it.
I get you.
Yeah.
I appreciate the effort though, and whoever came
Right.
up with that theory, but
Hmm.
you got to work all the bugs out before just throwing it out there.
Right. But then again, at the same time, a lot of those fan theories, that's what they do is they come up with a theory and they throw it out there to see if it sticks.
Right, but there's some people who come up with fantastic fan theories that actually make sense. Like it actually
Right.
adds up brilliantly,
Right.
and therefore I can see the connection of their theory. So it's like okay, so there are some out there that I can see and I can accept it, but this is
Hmm.
not one of those ones.
What about what's your favorite twist ending in a movie?
My
Uh,
mine is right on the top of my head. It's the movie Identity.
Mine would have to be. It's one of the Scream movies. Um, I would say Scream 4 when Sydney finds out that her cousin is one of the killers.
Mhm.
Yeah, because
So
like with the first two, I want to say they were more predictable, so it wasn't really a twist. Third one,
Mhm.
was a little tough to figure out, but I think 4 is a better contender because again, it's her cousin. You know what I mean? The person that she would least expect to be one of the killers.
Right.
It was very
I feel
brilliantly
it.
written.
Yeah.
that's it.
Like I said, with mine, it's the movie Identity. It's a psychological thriller, and the ending I didn't see coming, but when it hit, I was like, "Fuck you!"
Mm.
Mm.
I was in the movie theater watching it, and the ending happened, and I was like, "Oh, fuck you! I see it now." I love plot twists like that, where it makes me have a visceral
Yeah.
reaction to it.
Yeah. No, I'd say my favorite's the movie Upgrade. So basically the movie follows this guy and it's in like a futuristic city, but
Mm-hmm.
he gets in a crash and he loses the use of his legs. So
Mm-hmm.
basically his scientist friend, he has got this little like computer chip thing that he implants in his neck and he can start using his legs again, and everything is good and dandy until he starts hearing a voice. And basically throughout the story he takes revenge upon the people who killed his wife that caused the accident. And
Mm-hmm.
towards the end of the movie, STEM, which is that little machine in his neck, takes over his entire body without him,
Mm-hmm.
he can't stop it.
Yeah.
So basically what STEM does is he takes control of his body, makes him kill himself, and then he takes over the body and re-enters society. So, which is like a really, really creepy thought once you start digging into it. Like, he could do anything, and people would never know that he's not alive. He's not a real person. It's just like a robot connected to his consciousness that's controlling his body. So, like, yeah, that's a creepy thought.
Yeah. Well, with the movie Identity, it's a psychological thriller. It's like a bunch of people meet up at a hotel, and one by one, each person starts dying off. But whenever they go back to try to get the authorities to find the body's missing, and there's no sign of any death or anything. And at the end of the movie, I don't want to give it away or anything. They find out what happened,
Mm-hmm. You
and
guys
it's a
seen,
major plot twist.
you guys seen Shutter Island? Yeah,
Yeah.
No.
that one has a very good twist. Like once you I watched the movie twice, and that second viewing is very, very different once you see the pieces and stuff start coming together.
Yeah. Another movie that I really enjoy that has nothing to do with what you were talking about is Johnny Mnemonic. It's another Keanu Reeves movie, but it's the basis for the cyberpunk
See,
stuff.
that movie I completely forgot about, but I would be more inclined to believe that movie is more connected to the Matrix universe
I can feel you.
because it makes more sense.
Right. But basically, what it was is it was a short story that they turned into a movie, and the short story was the basis for the cyberpunk video game, or not video game, but cyberpunk role play game, and which later became a video game. So I really enjoy that movie.
Interesting. I do like the cyberpunk game.
Yeah, because it's basically about a courier during that quote unquote finger quotes time frame of where there's cybernetics and everything else, and he has a file that gets embedded in him, and he has to try to get it to a certain place in a certain time, otherwise he dies.
Mm.
It's really interesting.
What did you
It's
say the movie was called?
Johnny Mnemonic.
Just go to Google Gemini and type in Keanu Reeves filmography.
Yeah, and you'll be able to find it there. That, or you can just search Johnny Mnemonic.
No, it's easier
Either
to
way.
just look up the celebrity's filmography because you won't be
Sure.
able to spell mnemonic. I
Right.
heard you see
Right.
Bubba J having an issue with that. No offense, Bubba J. I love
found
Jim. No offense.
No, you're good. That actually
Yeah.
proved me wrong. I did find it by spelling close to what it sounded like.
Mhm.
I'm a
Yeah,
little
I think-
smarter. I'm a little smarter than you think, Jason. I'm just kidding.
Just a little. But yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah, I'll look into that.
Did you ever watch Colossus?
Me?
Yeah,
What is Colossus?
I told you about it before in the Discord. It's a 1970s or 80s movie, but it's about the U.S. builds a supercomputer that controls the military complex, and at the same time, Russia does the same thing, and then the two computers talk to each other and decide that humans are their own worst enemy, so they basically take over.
Yeah, no, you told me about that one.
Mm-hmm. It's a really interesting movie too.
I was watching Fargo. Have you guys ever seen that show?
Yep. I mean, I saw the original movie, but not the series.
Oh, the series is pretty good.
Yeah. But I encourage anybody that has the time to watch Colossus. Like I said, it's from the 70s or 80s, and it's really kind of a slow movie to watch in the beginning, but it's a really weird but impactful story.
You ever seen The Clockwork Orange?
Oh yeah, love Clockwork Orange. That's up there with some of the classics.
Colossus movie. Colossus: The Forbin Project.
I think so. It might be.
It's all the way back in 1970.
Yeah, it is old. It's based on a book from around that time frame. Because the way they do it, the computers, take up like a whole complex instead of being like a laptop like we have nowadays. Don't have to go watch it right now.
I know. I'm just looking at it.
Yeah.
Is it
Like I said,
Star
it's
Trek?
yep. One of the guys is from Star Trek, but in it, but it's really slow and kind of boring in the beginning, and it isn't until about the halfway point where it starts picking up and gets really exciting to watch. But you
Yeah,
have to watch the whole
somebody
thing to get the understanding.
somebody did an entire movie reaction to that Colossus movie on
Mm-hmm.
YouTube, and it didn't get
Yep.
copyright struck. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Some people get away with stuff like that, and I don't know how they do it, but the other thing is that I know a lot of people that will do the movie reactions, and they won't play the movie. They'll just sit there filming their reaction of themselves watching the movie.
Mm.
That, or they'll watch the movie and have a beginning where they talk about, they've never watched this movie before. They're going to watch the movie, and then they cut and come back to giving their opinions on it.
Hmm. Well, again, sorry, Jay. You just, I gotta go. I gotta work tomorrow again. So
All good.
how it goes. It's
Yep.
been nice chatting with you. And I'll
Have fun
see
with
you
the
guys later.
ball.
Have fun, Terminator.
Yeah. Good night.
Always good to see you.
Yes.
And then there are two again.
And then there were two-ish. And neither one of us is Jewish.
Well, I mean, Catholics consider themselves partial.
Yeah, I don't agree with the Catholics. Sorry.
I understand. Most people don't agree with the Catholics.
Yeah. I love
I mean,
Jean.
I don't agree with.
I just don't agree with Jean.
I mean, I was born and raised in confirmed Catholic, and even I don't agree with everything the Catholic Church teaches.
Yeah. I mean, my parents, they're Catholic, so me and my siblings, we were raised Catholic, and
Mm-hmm.
it was never really forced upon us. Like, we didn't go to church or anything like that. My father
Mhm.
said, "No, I'd rather, you guys find your own faith, rather than us forcing ours on you," which I thought that
Right.
was, like, whoa, thanks, Pops. You're a good man for not forcing it on us.
Right. I feel you. See, I was just the opposite. I was born and baptized and raised Catholic, forced to go to church until I was confirmed, and then my family made the mistake of saying, once you get confirmed, you're an adult in the eyes of the church, so it's up to you on whether you go to church or when or how. And I was like, bet.
All right.
And ever since I got confirmed, I only go every now and then on special occasions, basically to keep my family happy. But I am strong in faith, though, so
Yeah.
I just don't, like I said, I don't agree with all the teachings of any really established religion.
Right. I go based on like by the book, like what the Bible says. Because the Bible, if you read the Bible, it doesn't actually refer to anyone that is God's children as a Catholic or a Christian or whatever other label they want to slap on you. It's just no, it's just you're God's child. You know what I mean?
Well,
And Lord Jesus is your savior. So in order to get to the kingdom of heaven, to where God is, you have to go through Christ, who is your Lord and Savior. So okay.
yeah. Well,
So
in all honesty,
I always tell people that I'm a believer, not that I'm a Christian or Catholic. No, I'm a believer.
yeah, and in all reality, and during that time frame, the only real religion was Judaism and the Jewish faith. And when they talk about God's people, that's what they talk about, and that is the Jewish people were considered to be God's people. However, with Jesus coming around, he didn't come to start his own religion. He wanted to reform what he saw the Jewish religion doing wrong and get them to reform. So that's where the Christian religion came from, is Jesus's teachings.
Yeah, but still, you're not referred to as, like I said, a Christian though in the Bible.
Right.
So and it's easy to say like from where we were, you know what I mean? Because we obviously we weren't alive during the biblical era, the biblical days,
right.
When Christ was around. So it's all I know is that, I mean, it's hard, it's tough, and this is why I really don't like getting into these kind of religious discussions, because who knows what was actually said and done during that time period.
Right. And that's the thing is where I butt heads with a lot of people that are hardcore and religious, is they want to take the Bible as the be all end all, and to me it's just a guide. It's not meant to be the be all end all, because you can find contradictions to any belief in the Bible.
And plus the Bible through the many eras of time, I mean, it's been rewritten so many times, it's been translated so many times that who knows if any of that stuff is the actual word of God. You know what I'm saying? Like, because people have always said the Bible was written by man, which technically is true. Man on earth writes the Bible, and they keep revising it, they keep reinterpreting it to the point where it's like it's like they keep dumbing it down,
right?
And it's filled with contradictions. It's what I mean, because it tells you, okay, we're not supposed to judge others, but yet you're supposed to exercise good judgment at certain times. So I was like, okay, I'm confused. I'm not supposed to judge anybody, but yeah, I'm supposed to utilize good judgment when I need to. Because I'm judging somebody, you know what I mean? So it's like,
but that's basically the premise. Is it's supposed to be a guide. You're supposed to go ahead and go, okay, I'm struggling with this part of my faith. Let me go and read up in the Bible what it says in that area about my question. It's more of a guide than it's supposed to be a be all end all.
Right.
It's the same thing with like the Constitution. The Constitution has the rights that you're granted by God, and one of them is the First Amendment and freedom of speech. The other one is Second Amendment, freedom of the right to bear arms. And it doesn't say that you can only have certain weapons. It's the right to bear arms. So as technology goes ahead and gets better and better, you have better and better and safer weapons, so you're allowed to have those. Just like with the Bible, they didn't know everything that was going to happen throughout all time. They just tried to give you a guide of how to be good, basically.
Yeah. And then they put their predictions in as to what they think is going to happen. And sure, maybe some of them have come to pass, but how many of them have come to pass versus how many, didn't?
Exactly. It's like talking about end of times and everything. It's like every decade, people start saying, "Oh, we're in the end of times," and it's not. It just keeps going. So we're not supposed to know everything that God wants of us at any given time. We're just supposed to ask for guidance. We're not supposed to worry about whether or not it's the end of times. We're supposed to be prepared and be good people so that when it is, we'll enter into the kingdom of heaven.
Right. It frustrates me when people talk about end times because, okay, yeah, the Bible says there's going to be an end times, but then, I don't know, it's so vague. Even the Bible is vague about the end times because it tells you about, because you're going to hear of wars and rumors of war, but still the end is not yet. And yet, how often, through the years, again, through many eras throughout history, do we hear about wars and rumors of wars and all this and that? You know what I mean? And the world still hasn't come to an end yet. And then you hear about, like, you're not going to know the day, you're not going to know the hour, you're not going to know the minute, the very second of when it's going to happen and all this and that. But yet, people contradict themselves by saying, "Oh yeah, now this is definitely the end times. This is definitely the end times." Shut up! You don't know that, man.
Yeah.
Like, why are you getting all hysterical and trying to pump fear into other people by saying, "Oh, we're living through the end times because this is happening, that's happening." It's like, you know what I mean? As far as like war and rumors of war and like all this other stuff that's going on with our world today, is like, dude, you act like stuff like this has never happened before. Like, we've been through stuff like this before. It's nothing new.
Right. And that's my point to the fact is, basically the way I see in the Bible is you're not supposed to fear end times. You're supposed to live a good life and you'll be rewarded. So as long as you're living a good life, you should have no worries.
Live a good life, treat others how you want them to treat you. And then you're fine.
Right.
Can nobody tell you where you're going to go except for God himself? Only God can dictate where you're going to end up based on the kind of life that you live.
Yep. That's why I try not to judge people.
Yeah.
Because that's not for me to do. That's for God to do.
Right. It's not our place to be judging others, as the book says. Well, according to Christ, it's not on us to be judging others.
Right.
So who are we to say, "Oh, you're probably going to go to hell then because, oh, you did this, you did that." But then it's like, well, God also talks about, the ability in forgiving others. So yeah, everyone, and we're made flawed. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we're going to have our faults, we're going to have our slips, we're going to have our stumbles, but it's never too late to turn your life around. It's never too late to repent for your sins so you can go to heaven. So
forgiveness is divine. Yeah.
Yes.
And that's why I try to be very forgiving of people that do me wrong, is because I'd rather kill people with kindness.
Yeah. And then the Bible even tells you too, you pray for everyone that you love, you pray for your neighbors, and you even pray for your enemies.
Yep.
Like, it talks about, it preaches love, not hatred.
Right. Exactly.
So when you're telling somebody, that they're going to hell because, they live their life a certain way, that's not showing them love. You're showing them hatred.
Right. And the other thing is, like you said, we're all flawed.
Yeah.
So if you see somebody fucking up, you can say, "Hey, I think you're fucking up." But it's ultimately up to them to whether they acknowledge it or not. It's not for
Right.
you to say that they are good or bad in any way, shape, or form. It's
Right.
up to them.
Right. And who are you to be saying that someone is good or bad? You don't know what that person's going through.
Right.
You don't know why they do what they do. You know what I mean? You don't
Exactly.
know what caused them to be the way that they are. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not in their head. You
Exactly.
don't know what they know. And you don't know what they don't know.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, that's why, you know, like I said, I can't go to church. I can't be in some kind of, I call it a cult, because at the end of the day, that's what it feels like, with everyone being all, you know,
I understand that.
extreme in their beliefs and whatnot. It's like, no, I can't do it, man, because
Right.
yeah, I feel like a hypocrite when I do.
Yeah, and then again, on top of that, you have so many people that are hypocrites that go to church that, you
Yeah,
know, they use church as a way of saying, "Oh, I'm a good person," and then they go out and they do, you know,
they
horrific stuff.
weaponize it. They weaponize it by saying, "Oh, I'm the good person because I do this and do that. You're a bad person because you do this and do that." Like,
Hmm.
you know what I mean?
And or it's one of those that even if they don't preach at people,
Yeah,
they're using. I go to church, so I'm going to be a good person, or I am a good person when they've got skeletons in their closet. You know, that
yeah,
they've done evil stuff themselves, but
yeah.
they feel like they're okay because they go to church, and that's not how
Yeah.
it is.
Nope. In your own mind, you can be the most righteous, the most holier than thou person in your mind, but you know, it's also written in the book that God don't like ugly, and if you're using His word, you know what I mean, like
Hmm.
weaponizing His word against, you know, against His children, because you got to remember, we're all God's children according to Him at the end of the day.
Right.
So when you're weaponizing His word against um, more of His children and whatnot, you're not doing Him any favors.
Right.
And for all you know, He can send you to hell, because again, you're using His stuff for bad, for, you know, as a form of hatred,
Hmm.
and that's not what He's about.
Right. Yeah. It's all about love and trying to understand others is
Yeah,
my view on the Bible and all. You're
yeah,
supposed to love all people no matter who they are or what they are, and if they do bad, yeah, you can tell them they're doing bad, but it's like a parent. It's like you're not going to hate your child because they did something wrong, but
right,
rather call out what they're doing wrong and get them to see that it's wrong so
right,
that they don't do it again.
right.
And that's one of the reasons why I love having conversation,
Hmm.
is because you get to understand the way a person thinks and acts and feels by having a conversation with them.
Right,
You know, even if you don't agree with their choices, you can still love them and be friendly with them and have conversation with them,
right,
and through that get them to see errors in their ways by posing questions.
right. So at the end of the day, who are we to be telling anyone else how they should be living their lives? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Before you do that, you got to look at yourself and see where you're at.
Right.
But then, even then, you still can't tell people how to live their lives, because what works for you may not work for them, and what,
Exactly.
you know, and vice versa. What works for them
Right.
may not work for you.
Right. And that's part of my problem with all of the established religions is it seems that when you look at them, it's all about controlling their population and getting
Yeah,
them to do what they want that group to do
Yeah, like I
for
said,
whatever reason.
it's a cult.
Almost, yeah. I can almost agree with you on that one, other than the fact that, I feel like established religions like Christianity, Judaism, and all are more religious than cultish, because cults are typically there's leaders that want to control the population for their own good, And though the established religions kind of do that, they're trying to do it for a greater good.
Right.
So they're
but,
not completely
in the
corrupt,
process,
but
but in the process, though, they contradict themselves. So is it,
right.
and it gets to a point where if you have to question, like, is it really for the greater good, or is it for your own personal benefit?
Right. And there are good people in all walks of life. So, you don't throw away the baby with the bathwater, so to speak. So, there are good people within stuff like the Catholic Church that has a lot of people that are trying to do good, that do outreach programs and things like that, and they have organizations that they form to help the less fortunate and everything else. But at the same time, there are those people that are members of the Catholic Church that do bad and evil things. But that's where you call them out for what they do wrong, and you don't judge, but you try to get them to see the error in their ways. And I think most of the established religions, at least the Christian religions, have the outreach programs to help the less fortunate. I only know the Catholic because that's what I'm raised in.
Right.
Because like my mother, every day gets up and goes over to the church where they've got a garage basically, and then she does a garage sale of donated items, clothes, toys, everything else that people can come in and buy cheap for the less fortunate. And that's one of the ways they help, like homeless or people that are down on their luck or whatever. They also have a organization called St. Vincent de Paul that helps people like get suits and get job interviews and get on their feet, and help them with, if they're working and they can't pay a bill, they might help them pay their bill or whatever. But it's one of those things of you have to prove that you have a need and not just go and get a handout.
Right.
So
I think we lost everybody in the chat with our religious talk.
yeah, but I'm sorry if I lose people in the chat for the religious talk, but at the same time, it's just conversation. I love conversation, and it doesn't matter the topic, and that's proof of it.
Yep. We like having open discussions.
Yep. And if you have questions, just post them in the chat, and we'll discuss them also.
Yep.
And if I know you and you're lurking and you want to join the panel to talk, you just hit the link. I say if I know you because there's people that like to try to be trolls and or try to get live shut down or what have you, and I don't want to get that happening to me, so I got to know you.
Yep.
But what else can we talk about?
See, we covered wrestling, we covered movies, religion.
I want to steer away from politics because that tends to get you pigeonholed or shadow banned.
Yeah, which sucks.
Yeah. Plus the engagement is down. We're down to one viewer, which I think is Inga.
Well, whoever that one viewer is, we appreciate your loyalty.
Yep.
Thank you for sticking with us.
No, I mean, not only all those topics that we talk about, but I also talked about, going out and shooting pool with the family.
Yeah, I didn't talk about that earlier.
Yep.
Man, I miss playing pool. I haven't played pool in so long.
Oh, I was terrible at it. It's been so long since I played, plus with having my foot problem that I have, it was hard to get around, but I had fun.
That's what it's all about at the end of the day. I mean, I'm not that great at pool
Yep.
either, but I enjoy it still. I still
Yeah.
love playing.
Right. And one of my brothers is a truck driver, and he's in town through Christmas, so it was good for us to all get together and hang out.
Oh yeah. 'Tis the season, man. Take full advantage. Spend time with your family as much as you can.
Yep. And I got a nephew that's in the military that's not going to be able to be home for Christmas, but he comes in for I think a week, a couple of days after Christmas, so he'll be here for New Year's.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. But the bright side is he's at a base in Alabama, so it's only like a 5 or 6 hour drive.
Oh, okay.
So
But still, though, I mean, it would be nice to see him for Christmas.
yeah, I think it's going to be his first Christmas away from the family.
Yeah, that one's
his
always
parent-
the hardest.
Yeah, because his parents are here in the city with us, and that's one thing is, my family's pretty tight that way. I live with my folks, and then my middle brother lives just in the northern part of the city, and he's got 3 boys and a girl. The one boy joined the military. The other boy is living on his own, and then the other boy and girl, I think, stay with him. And then my baby brother's a truck driver, and his daughter lives with me and my parents. And
Oh, okay.
her daughter spends time between her and the baby's father. So yeah, my great niece living with us too. She's like 3, I think.
Oh, okay.
And then my niece is like 22, I think, that had her. So yeah, we got a big old family. It's like, I think it's 15 people,
Damn.
all living within a 3 or 4 city area, except for the one that's in the military.
Oh, okay.
So when we have family get-togethers, it usually is, a lot of people.
Yeah, usually for family get-togethers, it would just be like our immediate family, like my mom, my dad, me, my brother, my sister, her 3, well, technically 4 kids, because her
Mhm.
her oldest son, he has a girlfriend, and the girlfriend stays with them. So
Yeah.
she basically
that's
already declared her as her other daughter, and
Mhm.
pretty much the rest of us, declared her as another member of the family. Like I always
Right.
say, hey, that's my other niece.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying is it's all immediate family. It's my mom, my dad, me, my 2 brothers, their wives, and their kids. So that's like 15, 10 to 15. See, mom, dad, me. It's 12, I think, maybe 13
Yeah.
when we're all
And
together.
then the thing is, my sister, she lives like an hour and a half from where we live. My brother, he stays close by her in another town. I think it's like a 25, 30-minute drive
Now, so
for
y'all are
him.
spread out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all live within 15 to 30-minute drive of each other, except for the one in the military.
Yeah. And then I'm trying to get my own place, but I mean, money is so tight because, again, with California's ridiculous prices and cost of living and the inflation.
Yeah, that's why I never go to California.
Yeah, well, if I had the means to do so, I'd move out of state, but I don't. So I'm
Right.
stuck here.
I feel you.
Yeah, and it's really irritating when people tell me, dude, you need to move California. Like, okay, easier said than done. Where am I going to go? Where am I going to stay? With what money?
Right? It's one of those that they tell you need to move out of California, or are you going to give me a place to stay?
Yeah, it's like, don't tell me I need to move out of state unless you're prepared to have me stay with you.
Exactly.
Because that's basically what you're saying. Okay, you want me to move out of state? All right, fine. Okay, make sure you got my room set up for me then when I go see you.
Right. And then it's also something of also with, moving away from your family support too.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Like, see, people they think it's so easy for me to just split from my family. It's like, no, when it comes to the Hispanic community, we're very tribal, meaning we're very
Right.
tight knit with our families.
Right.
So,
Yep. Oh, I
you
know that
know,
one.
I can't imagine living states away from my family. Like
Right.
that's easier said than done.
Yeah. I mean, the closest that I could see you moving out of California would probably be to Nevada,
Yeah,
to be honest.
I almost did move out to I almost did move out that way. I almost moved to Vegas, but a buddy of mine who had the apartment, he he wasn't staying. He's the kind of person that doesn't stay at one place for very long because when
Hmm.
his dad works, I guess his dad works in some form of medical field where he only stays at a certain place for so long, and then when his job is done there, then they move to another state, another town, and stay there for so long, and like they're always
So
moving, they're always traveling.
they're nomadic.
Yeah. So, and I thought,
I feel you.
dude was gonna stay in Vegas because he got the apartment in Vegas with his sister and everything, and we're making preparations for me to move out there so I can stay with him. But then he didn't stay out there; he moved, and I'm like, great. So I wasted all that time trying to make preparations, and nothing happened. Yeah, thanks for wasting my
Right.
time.
Right. That's something else that I wish people would be more inclined to do is be honest with people. You know,
Yeah,
if you're gonna help them and all that, help them and be honest. If you can't help them, be honest and say, I wish I
yeah,
could, but I can't. You know.
yeah. Like I would, respect you more if you're just straight up with me either way, whether you can or can't. That's fine.
Exactly.
Just say so, and I would totally understand.
Yeah, that's where we formed that friendship over is we've always been honest with each other. Whether,
Yeah,
we have to say something that may hurt each other's feelings or not, we're honest. But we
yeah,
also don't like go off on each other in anger. We come to each
right,
other and think about what we're saying and say, look, I'm not trying to, make you upset, but this is, what I'm seeing. Is this
right,
what you're seeing, and talk it out
right,
as adults do.
right.
And that's what I wish more people would do is, you know, it's one thing to get angry or to get in your feels about something somebody says. It's
Mhm.
another thing to lash out. And that's what I've always been taught is, if something hurts your feelings, take the time to think about it and calm down before you come at somebody
Right,
and actually have a conversation with them about it and let them understand where you're coming from and listen to where they're coming from so that you understand their point of view as well as having your own.
yeah,
And I know, we're all human, so there's times where people will lash out, but that's when you admit to your faults and ask for forgiveness and apologize. There's no shame in admitting that you were wrong.
Mhm.
And that's where a lot of the internet beef, I think, would get solved if people were more humble that way and admit to their faults.
Yeah, yeah. I actually stumbled upon somebody's live where they they claim that somebody dragged him into a troll community, but it's
Uh-huh.
like, how do you let someone drag you into a troll community? I mean, don't you not, do you not have a mind of your own? Are you not capable of making your own decision to say, okay, look, I
Hmm.
want to be a part of the situation because it's negative, it's toxic, so I'm gonna go this way.
Right,
Like, I mean, this is a grown adult basically blaming other people for their actions
right,
rather than holding themselves accountable for what they decide to do.
right. And even if you felt that you were dragged into a troll community, you have to have that wherewithal to admit, oh, I was only dragged into this because I wasn't strong enough willed to go against it.
Right.
You know, admit to your faults and try to do, to be a better person the next time.
Right. Like it's like when I was on one of Dan's lives recently,
Mm-hmm.
and I got caught up in the heat of a moment with a certain particular idiot that I'm sure you're familiar with.
Right.
So I accidentally yelled at Amy, and Dan called me out on that, which he had a right to do because Amy is his girl. So I have
Right.
respect for that.
Right.
And the very next live, and first chance I got, I made sure to apologize to Amy, even though she said she wasn't really paying attention. She didn't really like pay any mind to it. I could tell that that's not true. She did because like she was saying something when I was trying to get a point out, and that's when I yelled at her. So I mean, but I want to make sure though that I corrected my mistake. I
Right.
held myself accountable. I said, "Yep, I acknowledge the fact that yep, I did get out of line. I yelled at you. I was disrespectful. I was rude. So coming to you as a man to humbly apologize. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen again, and I've never done it since."
Right. And I get that, and that's also like with what people were saying of I say things and either A, make it awkward, or B, don't think about what I say, and I don't. So if somebody calls me out and I say something that offends, I will usually apologize, unless of course I stand by what I say,
Yeah.
and then I'll just try to make you understand my point of view.
Yeah. Like me, I don't mind being corrected. If I get out of pocket, I say something that people may
Mhm.
find wrong. If I was out of line or whatever, just fucking
Right.
tell me.
Right.
Like, don't beat around the bush. Don't hide. If I did something
Right.
wrong or said something wrong, feel free to tell me. Like, I'll
Right.
own my stuff.
Right.
I'm not afraid to hold myself accountable and apologize for something that
Right.
I've done wrong.
Right.
You know.
And that's the other thing is
What
that
really aggravates me. What really aggravates me is just that not too many people have that level of maturity. They don't have that mindset of being willing to be called out on their stuff so they can correct
Oh, yeah.
themselves.
Right.
They're so
And-
quick to correct others, but they won't correct themselves.
Right, and that's why I'm friends with people like you and Alpha and others in the community, because y'all will tell me when y'all feel I'm fucking up, and I'll listen, and if I feel that you're all right, I'll admit to it and I'll apologize. But if I'm not, then I'll express my point of view and try to get y'all to see my point of view on it, and we can agree to disagree, or through the conversation come to an understanding.
Right.
I never really shy away from the topic, whether I'm in the wrong or not. I will listen to what people have to say, and sometimes it takes me a couple of days to digest, but I will usually come back and either admit to my fault or say, hey, I think you're wrong about what you said about what I was going through or doing, and here's why, and give my reasoning. Because like I said, I try not to speak in anger. I usually listen, digest, and try to give a point of view when I'm in a more calm state.
Right.
And again, we're all human, so there's times that I fail, but that's what I try to do.
Right.
Which I think a lot of us in Alpha Tyler's community are like that, are like-minded like that. There are a few that aren't, but it is what it is. And on the internet, if people were more like that, I think it would get to be a nicer place. But with
That's what's
anonymity,
protected,
people tend to just speak their mind and not care about the consequences.
Right.
And just like, trolling trolls, I understand it, but at the same time, two wrongs don't make a right.
Right.
So I got another train getting ready to come, so I may have to mute.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah,
we can
no,
still talk until
I
I get.
agree with you too about the trolling of the trolls and everything and whatnot, and about the negativity and everything that we mentioned the other day. But also at the same time, I get that there's limits when it comes to stuff like that, and when you're pushing the envelope and being very accusatory towards people with something that is really serious and should be played around with, like accusing someone of being a pedo or a pedo supporter and stuff like that, then it's like, okay, you know what? At that point, all bets are off because now you're playing with people's lives when you're accusing them of things like that. Because you never know, man. I mean, given with the amount of eyes that watch you, being that this is an open public platform, I mean, all it takes is for one person to take what is said about you seriously enough to where they're willing to go out of their way to figure out who you are, where you live, and who knows, might come to your house and do you and anyone that you have staying with you harm. And you can be completely innocent. So that's why, like,
Right.
like I said, to a degree, I can understand the viewpoint wanting to challenge somebody like that that's being that way towards you. But then I can also understand from the other side when people say that, okay, it's getting to a point where now it's getting really petty, really stupid, and really childish.
Right. Yeah, I get that, and I agree with you for the most part. But it's one of those things that, again, like you said, people don't know who they're dealing with online in the anonymity and all that. So it's not a good idea to roll up on somebody because you don't know if there's a child in the house or if they've got a gun or what. Things can go wrong really quick, like. But
Yeah,
at the same time, I do understand when people are talking about you to address it. However, that's one of the things that the more you address it, the more people are going to start listening. So you address it and then you let it die, because the more that you go after the person that's just flapping their gums, the more people are going to stop and go, well, why are they acting this way? And all that. If there's
well, because
evidence, show evidence. But if you're just flapping your gums and making shit up, then yeah, don't be doing that.
right, but you gotta understand though, everybody's different. There's freaking like, normal, more reasonable people. There's a few psychos, like I said, that will take it to the extreme.
Right. And I get that. That's why I was
You
saying,
know, so
I see both sides on that one.
yeah, same here.
But that's why I don't judge people that do feel the need to, call out the people that are talking shit.
Yeah,
At the same time, if you've got receipts, show your receipts.
right.
Don't hide behind, well, I've got receipts, you don't need to see them, or make stuff up, or private when you show receipts so that nobody can go back and check it.
Yeah, because then it's like, dude, because you like I said, you're playing with people's lives.
Right.
You know what I mean? You could be the cause of someone getting killed over something that they're being wrongfully accused of.
Right. And
You
the
know what I
other
mean?
thing is,
It's a deadly game.
right, and the other thing is, if you're trying to talk shit about somebody in a completely different state,
Mm,
do your research and make sure that you have the right person. And don't
yeah,
just keep doubling down on, oh, I have evidence of this person and it's the completely wrong person.
yeah, exactly.
That's why I don't get into those conversations with that person that you were talking about
Yeah.
and bring up any evidence because I don't know if it's truly them or not, and B, it's a completely different state than I'm in, and I don't care. They can live their life the way they want to live their life. Just don't be around me.
Yeah. Yeah, like to a certain degree, I can care less what people say, but like I said, when you go to such extremes, then it's like, okay, I was gonna leave you alone, but now since you want to go there, okay, I need to address you now.
Right. And the other
Because
thing
now
that,
you're trying to, because now you're trying to cause harm to me and
Mhm.
to people that I share a home with.
right. And the other thing is, if you, the thing that I've always struggled with trolls in general is
Yeah.
when somebody lives, say, 2 states away from you, and they're talking
Mhm.
shit about you. Why even worry about it? Because before the internet, if somebody said something about you in another state, you wouldn't even know about it unless somebody told you. And it's the same
Right.
way online. People, you don't know what somebody's talking about you unless somebody tells
Right.
you,
Right.
or
That's why,
you
like I
happen to
said,
be
as
on a
long as it's
live
not,
and see them saying
that's what,
something.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, as long as it's nothing like too extreme, like if it's
Right.
just petty nonsense or whatever, then fine. By all means, talk about me all you want. I don't care. As far as I'm concerned, you're just providing me free marketing. You're
Right.
providing me free promotion and driving
hmm
traffic for my channel. So by all
Right.
means, have at it, man. I really don't care.
Right. And the other thing is
And
that if you know that you don't do what you're being accused of, why do you care
right,
what other people think?
it's true.
That's the other aspect of it. If you have nothing to hide, why do you care?
That's true, but I also like to make it be known too that the stuff that I'm being accused of that's really extreme. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Uh, I like to let it be known that hey, look, I don't go around accusing people of doing things like that because
Right.
you never know. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There could be, like I said, that one person crazy enough to look into the person that you're being accusatory of. You know what I'm saying? They'll look into them, see who they are, where they live, and they'll actually go and pull up and do something to that person. And I don't
Right.
want to be responsible for someone potentially losing their life because I accuse them of being something so extreme that I don't know 100% that they are or not.
Right. I feel you on that one.
So it's like I don't go around doing that unless I have proof. And if I have the proof, well, then not only will I call you out, but I'm also going to provide the receipts to prove it.
Exactly. But there's too many people online that just want to hive mind
Right.
and back up people without the receipts, and they're my
Mhm.
friends, so I gotta stick up for them. Well, if they're truly your friend, then A, they're gonna tell you about any issues before they happen, and
Mhm.
B, you know, people change. So, somebody may have a criminal record, but it doesn't mean that they haven't decided to turn their life around. And
Right.
who is somebody to point out what somebody went through 30 years ago that may have decided, oh well, I'm turning my life around and I'm doing good now. You know,
Mhm.
that's kind of my point to it all, is like you can do your research on somebody and find out
Yeah.
things, but why are you doing it? What is
Or
your
trying to
end game?
tell people today that we used to hang out with somebody like what,
Yeah.
like 2 3 years ago, that
hmm
we found out back then, what I mean, had done something extremely horrible, something really unspeakable. We
Right.
found out this person was a predator, and once we found out that they really were a predator, we guess what we did? We stopped hanging out with them.
Right.
So
And
why
and
bring that up years later after the fact?
right. And in that case, excuse me. And in that case, everybody that used to rock with that person told the story that of how they told what they were accused of, but made
Yeah.
it seem like it wasn't, as bad of a situation, and or that they had turned their life around, and people wanted to give them that chance to prove that they had turned their life around.
Right.
And then all of a sudden everything blows up, and people have to distance themselves and go, okay, well,
Mhm.
now that I know the true story, I don't want to be around this person, and they leave. And then somebody has that information and just keeps using it on everybody else that used to rock with them, that disavowed themselves. It's like, why are you still doing this? What is
Yeah.
your end game? Why do you keep bringing up the past?
Yeah.
What is your ulterior motive, so to speak?
Yeah. And then that's why, and that was why I had to ask, you know, the side that I'm on. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, so what is your guys' end game in all this? I mean, are we trying to, take this person down because of, how horrible they are and the horrible things that they've admitted to, or are we going to put up with this crap for another 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years? Like,
Mm-hmm.
what is the overall end game in all of this?
Yeah.
Because I want to get to a point where if we have to take this person down in order for us to get back to normal and talk about anything and everything that isn't negative and isn't drama, then fine, then let's freaking get it done then. You know what I mean? So we can move on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why
Right.
must we keep dwelling on this? Because we don't have lives, we don't have better things that we can be discussing than this shit.
Yeah, and as I was saying, is with the person that we're talking about now that keeps bringing up the past,
Yeah.
all he's doing is trying to look for attention. He's trying to
Yeah.
be relevant. And the
Yeah.
more people want to stream snipe him, the more people want to point out what he's saying is false, and keep engaging with him, the more it's going to draw new people in
Mhm.
and make them choose a side, where you don't want him to get any new people on his side. So the more you talk about it, the more people are going to, pick a side, so to
Right.
speak.
Just like
And
he's
there are going to be
providing.
people that are easily persuaded to join his side.
Right. It's just like he's providing free marketing or free promotion for all these people that he's talking about. They're doing the same thing for him in return by keep mentioning his name,
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
keep talking about it.
Keeping him
They're
relevant.
promoting his channel.
I mean, for as much as you're doing, you might as well just shout him out in your descriptions, and point out where his channel is, so people will go and subscribe and give him more views and make him more relevant.
Yeah.
Instead of, you're wanting him to leave you alone, walk away.
Yeah.
And like I said, I was always taught, you can't argue by yourself. You need to have somebody that'll argue back. And the
Yeah.
more you engage with somebody that is spreading lies about you, the more people are going to wonder whether or not there's any truth to the lies that a person that's lying is saying.
Mm.
So that's, again, a reason why I kind of wanted to do the Boredom podcast, because I got tired of seeing everybody engaging in drama about that person and
Yeah.
the group that rocks with him. And I'm like, I'm not subscribed to him. I'm not subscribed to anybody that rocks with him.
Right.
So I don't see all this, so I don't care.
Right.
It's just like, if the whole argument on, censorship on television or on the internet, it's like, if you see something you don't like, you don't have to keep watching it. You can
Right.
go watch something else. You
Right.
can, so there's no need for censorship. You can walk away.
Yeah.
So that's the whole reason why I started this, was to give an alternative to the drama.
Yeah. Because see, the thing is, I want to hang out with my friends. I do.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like
Right.
all of my friends though who do better quality stuff that's not negative, that's not toxic or anything, they're not on. So
Yep.
it's like, You know, so I see that okay, but my other people's are on, so that's where I'm gonna go.
Right.
You know, when
And it
Tyler's
just gets
live,
so
yeah, I'm always there, but he doesn't always go live. I know his
yeah.
ATRLs are more likely guaranteed to happen every Thursday night. Shameless plug.
Right.
But other than that, it's like, you know, how often does he really stream after that? You know, yeah, he's doing
Well,
his gaming streams again, and then he wants to do other types of streams, but it's like, you know,
with
it's
Alpha Tyler, he wants to do more community-based stuff, and
yeah,
that's why we were doing the sus stream on Sundays, but nobody's been showing up for that. So he's going to be
well,
probably canceling that and starting to do community streams on Saturday. As a matter of fact, he said on the ATRL he's going to have a community stream this Saturday. So
yeah, and I'm looking forward to that, and hopefully YouTube does
same,
their fucking job and give me a notification for it.
same. But at the
Yeah,
same time, if I don't get a notification, I always look at other places and Discord or whatever,
right,
and or I go ahead and I'll watch his channel around the time.
right. But the thing is, if I don't see if anyone's live, I'm busy and more inclined to do what I need to do. Being that I am a
Right.
content creator as well, I need to,
Right.
if I have
And that's
music in the works,
understandable.
I got to get that done. If I got stuff for the
Right.
channel to get done, I got to get that done. If I got some collaborative
Right.
work that I'm doing with someone that I need to get done, you know what I mean? Then I'm gonna get that done. If I get a notification that somebody's live, like I said, I will be there. But and if I'm not there, that's because I did not get a notification, and it's not something I did in the settings. Look at you, Alpha Tyler, because I know you how you like to give me a hard time about the settings. But if I'm not getting a notification, that's because the app did not send me anything. So therefore, I did not know.
Right.
And yes, Discord, I know for sure did do an update because when I went into the voice chat again, thinking that's where the after party is, because nobody
Hmm.
told me, you know what I mean, that you had a channel and that you started doing these streams.
Right.
I saw that the voice chat had changed. It looks different.
Right. And that's kind of on me because even though during Alpha's ATRL it was mentioned several times that it was going to be on my channel, you probably might not have been there to hear it, or it was like background noise for you and
Yeah, sometimes
you
I
didn't hear it
multitask.
said.
Yeah,
But I had asked somebody to go in to the Discord because I saw you and Tech in the Discord and let y'all know where we were.
yeah, but because the thing is too is like everyone thinks I have my eyes glued to the chat like the whole time the stream is on. No, I have a life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I have my
Right.
own, content creation career to think about too, and so therefore I am multitasking. If I'm not chatting that much, it's probably because I have it on. I'm watching. I'm
Right.
listening while working on my own shit.
Right. I understand that.
Yeah, well, I know you do, but there's people out there that don't. They think that I have my eyes glued the whole time, and therefore I catch everything. No, I don't catch everything. The only time I'm looking at the
Right.
chat is when I have something to say about what's going on the stream.
Well, that's probably an issue a lot of the content creators have is because they're so used to people being in the live and they think that they're there constantly, but they're not.
Yeah,
Even if some of us are, people do tend to stream hop and all that also. So there's that to be considered also. Is you got to think of whether or not people are in the live constantly, and if you see them engaging and talking constantly or not.
yeah,
And that's why I always encourage people to type in chat, so that we know that what's going on and we get the engagement going and all that.
yeah. And that's why me and Tyler, we had a talk about, well, hey, let's start working on things together again, like we used to. Like
Hmm.
we have a song in the new, we have a new song in the works that we're collaborating on that he's told me he's on board with and everything. And I get it; it's the holiday season, it's a busy time, so I'm not
Right.
rushing it. But it's just like I just would like to know if something's being
Right.
done with it or not. You know what I mean? I don't like being like left in the dark, not knowing like what's going on with this project that we're working on or not.
Right. I feel you on that one. But yeah, a lot of issues that happen with people online and or content creators is it boils down to miscommunications
Yeah.
and or people not uh,
Or
communicating
people
properly.
assuming things because they don't see their regulars being where they should be and stuff. So they tend to get the wrong impression, the wrong idea, and it's like, dude, I'm always courteous of understanding like people have a life outside of this, but it feels like people don't seem to understand that I have a life as well outside of this.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, would it hurt anyone to check in on me every once in a while? You know what I mean? Or once in a blue moon, be like, hey, is everything all
Right.
right? Everything good? You know what I mean? We haven't seen you here. Is like, you know what I mean? To let me know, like, yeah, I'm still very much a part of the community, and that people
Right.
do actually care.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I don't think people understand. You know what I mean? Like, hey, look, we're all human. You know what I mean? We're all human beings at the end of the day. We all have lives. We all have feelings. We all have a heart. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. And we
you
all have
know,
our own failures too.
yeah, we all have our own failures. We all have our own faults and everything. We're all
Mhm.
flawed at the end of the day. But I mean, at least if you want people to treat you like you're part of the community, then make sure that you're also doing the same thing for those that
Yeah.
you notice are MIA before you
Yeah.
turn
It's
around
like
and prove that to others.
yeah, and it's like I've always said, is like to have a friend, you got to be a friend,
Exactly.
and the communication leads to understanding. So
Yeah.
everybody's got to be able to talk openly with each other,
Yeah.
even if it hurts your feelings. You got to go ahead and realize, okay, well, you hurt my feelings, but let's say, let's see where this comes from and have a conversation about it and go, okay, look, that hurt my feelings, but this is how I feel about it.
Hmm.
And that's where you and I have always had that go on, where we always talked about that. And if you had said something that I felt, hurt my feelings or whatever, I'd stop you and go, hey, this is what I'm hearing and this is how I'm feeling. Is that the way you intended it?
Yeah.
And then you do the same thing with me also, because, like I've said, I have a habit of saying things that I don't think before I speak, and it may be misconstrued. And, I'll stop you and go, oh, wait, you took it this way? No, I did not mean it this way. I meant it this way. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, that makes more sense.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like when me and him, we had a little bit of a miscommunication. I think it was a couple of ATRLs ago where we were talking about diss tracks and stuff because I had requested the best West Coast rapper song.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to tell him because I was agreeing with him when he was talking about how, the best diss tracks came from, the OGs from back in the day, like Ice Cube, Tupac, Nas. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's why when I write a diss track, I draw, inspiration from guys like those, you know what I mean? Because those are the realest dudes to ever do diss tracks. Unlike a lot of these YouTube rappers or internet rappers that you hear today. You know what I'm saying? And I think he took it as me taking offense to, like, because I guess he thought that I felt like he was taking jabs at my diss track, but I was like, no, I understand where you're coming from. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
feel where you're coming from, and that's why, yes, I really don't like writing diss tracks. But if I do write a diss track, I'm gonna draw inspiration from, like I said, the OGs, not from these newer,
Right.
more modern day rappers, you know what I'm saying, that be talking about stupid petty shit.
Right.
Like, no,
And
I'm gonna go much harder. I'm gonna not hold back. I'm gonna, I'm gonna fucking, pull strings, whatever, do what I gotta do to really get underneath somebody's skin.
right. And that's one of the things with diss tracks that, to me, if you're dropping a diss track, one, have receipts, and two, have a legitimate beef. Is
Yeah,
going, oh, I'm making a diss track on you because you've trolled me and said mean things. Well, okay,
yeah,
get a helmet, you know. But if
yeah,
you've stolen money from somebody or something like that, That's what needs to be addressed. Or
Right.
If you're an evil person, like a chomo or whatever, that needs to be addressed. But have the receipts. Don't just make shit up about somebody.
Right.
And
That, yeah,
also, you don't have
that's the
to have
thing.
20 million diss tracks on the same person. You
Yeah.
drop one or two and just leave it.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like, if there's things that I'm gonna claim that I'm gonna say in my diss track, I'm gonna make sure I have the receipt to back it up.
Yeah.
Because that's
Have the
those are the
receipt
best
and
kind
the
of diss
research.
tracks. Yeah, those are the best kind of diss tracks to put out there. When you make
Mhm.
claims and you have the receipts to back it up, boom,
Hmm.
that's it.
Right. And make it entertaining too.
Oh yeah,
If you're dropping a diss track and it's shit audio and everything else, then that's not going to be a good diss track, and you shouldn't even think that it's a good diss track if you know that your audio sucks and everything else.
right, right.
And if you try to be a mumble rap diss track, that's not going to go over well. Just know that.
Mm,
Because people that listen to diss tracks want to be able to understand what the hell you're talking about. Don't auto-tune your shit.
right. And don't sing in your diss track because it's not a diss track when you're singing. It becomes a love
I mean,
ballad.
if you sing a hook, maybe, but it's gotta
No,
it's gotta come hard.
no singing in diss tracks. It needs to be a straight up diss track. If you're doing a hook, your hook needs to be fucking hard. No freaking singing, because
Hmm.
it's just weird. Because
Well,
it's weird
I
enough as it
understand.
is. It's weird enough as is when you're writing, as Alpha Tyler put it, when you're writing angry poetry to. Okay, you're a man, and you're writing angry poetry to another man, and then
Right.
you're gonna
Or a
sing on
woman to
top of
woman,
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
if you're gonna sing on top of that in your diss track to another man, like that's
Right.
fucking weird.
Right. But I think it's getting late, and I just got a notification that HBR went live, so I think I'm
Yeah, I
gonna
got
shut
that
it
one
down and
too.
let everybody run over there.
All right, I'm out of here. Appreciate you having me
Have a good
on.
one. Not a problem. I appreciate you coming on, and anytime you want to, just holla at me.
Yes, sir.
Have a good one. We'll talk later.
All right, man. You too. Talk to you later.
Later. Thank y'all for coming out. This has been the Boredom Podcast, where I go live because I'm bored. And we had a fun time. Thank Jason JV for being on and Jiminator J. I will, again, later on put links to their channels in the description if you want to check them out. And we out.